Hello! I am the tiniest, bit late, but I am here. I am here doing our live, and I am talking today about Kangaroo Whippets, which I think is the best title ever. Saying so myself. Kangaroo Whippets. So what am I talking about specifically? I am talking about Whippets who jump up at people, jump up at things, who jump up in general. Whippets are amazing in the heights they can jump. I know that all of my Whippets are amazing at jumping. I have watched my Whippets jump huge gates. I have watched them leap across ridiculous things. Whippets are good at jumping. Their lovely long bodies make them great at it. But they could always be quite problematic. If they are jumping up at us or strangers, we may not appreciate that. Always full open. I don't mind my dogs jumping up at me, but I don't like them jumping up at other people. So we are going to talk today about kangaroo whippets and whippets not jumping up. Thanks for the thingies, emoji things. I don't know what they're called. If you have any comments, you have any questions, pop them in the messagey box somewhere, and I can answer them as I go. Always give me plenty of feedback if you want to. So we are talking kangaroo whippets. What are kangaroo whippets? Whippets who jump up. So, thank you. Why do dogs in general jump up? Is a really important question to be thinking about. Dogs jump up really simply, really bluntly, because it's fun. Anyone see dogs jump up? Jumping up is inherently fun. It results in all manner of consequences for them. Jumping up feels good, it releases adrenaline, it makes them very excited, but I think dogs work out really quickly that jumping up results in people going a bit crazy. Whether it's someone shouting at them or someone flailing their arms or doing, this around, get off. That is really exciting. So dogs jump up because it works for them. It's an enjoyable experience and it gets them a consequence that they find in some way reinforcing from the situation. Dogs don't jump up because they're dominant. Your dog isn't jumping up at you because he's trying to be like a boss or a pack leader or anything like that. Because dogs just don't think like that. They think, what works for me? What's going to get the consequence I want? And if jumping up gets them that consequence, that's what they're going to do. So that's why dogs jump up. Whether that's you, whether that's strangers, dogs usually jump up because it's really, really fun. There are definitely situations where our whippets and dogs in general can jump up because they're really, really smart and then maybe they're a little bit nervous and they want to keep people away. And they've learned that jumping up at people gets people to, move away, push them away. It actually creates distance. So for nervous dogs who are very smart, sometimes jumping up isn't an excitement thing. That can be really worth sort of considering because I definitely see that happen more often than you would think. Particularly I think with some of the sight hounds I work with, they will jump up at me and actually they would rather me keep away. Their tail's kind of tucked. They're hoping that I go away. It's a smaller amount, but it definitely happens. So that's really worth bearing in mind. I think they call it like a kiss to dismiss. The dog, I love you, go away. I know it's going to get you to go away. So with jumping up, what do we want to do? How are we going to stop our dogs jumping up? And that's always a really tricky question to answer in a specific time frame, because dogs often have a long reinforcement history, so they've done it a lot, they've done all this jumping up, and we're not going to get rid of it really quickly, like you might see on TV. I don't want to be shouting at my dog, I don't want to be physically correcting my dog for jumping up, because they're generally just jumping up because they're happy. I want them to know, what behaviour would I like them to do? What behaviour would I like them to do instead of jumping up? Do I want them to sit? Do I want them to be engaged with something else? Do I want them to do a nose bump and say hi to the person by touching their hand? Or to me even, whoever it is. If it's me coming in the house or people on walks. What is it I want my dog to do? For me, with my dogs, I tend to go with the idea that I just want them to have feet on the floor. That's all I want them to do. I want them to have their feet on the floor so they know that 4 on the floor gets you more. Always remember that. More on the floor gets you more. So what I do with my dogs is I make sure that if they're jumping up, they're probably not going to get any attention as like a management tool. And then I am going to make sure that when they are on the ground and they've got 4 feet down, I'm either going to give them a treat to their mouth, or if I'm out in public and I'm maybe dealing with an excited person too, because I can't be the only one that when I'm out, people aren't very helpful. I'm sure it's not just me. People are like, it's fine, your dog can jump up. No, please don't let my dog jump up. I will sometimes like just scatter food when people interact with my dog. And by that I mean I get a handful of my treats and I chuck them to the ground. Because what it tells my dog is, I would rather you were down here, that this person on the street is none of your business. Your business is sniffing. You don't need to be engaged with them. And by treating on the floor, I get a lower centre of gravity from my dog, particularly my Whippets, because if I feed them to their mouth while someone is present, and I don't know if any of you have ever had this, comment if you have, where you treat them to their mouth, and then what they do is they take the treat and they jump up anyway. All right, you've got them with their feet on the floor, and they've gone to jump up. They've not jumped up, but they take the treat, and it's like a takeaway. They're like, cheers, thank you. Bye. Thanks for the food. So I don't really tend to give a lot of treats to my dog's mouth when it is a case of them maybe likely to jump up at someone. I'm probably going to feed them on the floor, because it just gives them something to do, and it gives them a calmer frame of being, because they're sniffing, and it keeps them a lower centre of gravity, right? So that's generally what you want to do. Is if my puppy or my Whippet or any dog in general is around people and they are making good choices, I want to catch them in the act of being good. I don't want to wait until they jump up at someone and then punish them for it. I want to make sure, because I think as humans we often unintentionally like miss the good moments. You know, the dog can be stood around someone for ages and we kind of ignore it. And then when they jump up, we go, oh no, don't do that. And the dogs go, yeah, that was a good game. I'm definitely going to do that again. So instead, I'm going to pay those good moments. I'm going to catch them in the act of being good and reward them for being good instead of waiting for them to make a mistake. So, you know, I want to be sure that they're doing as good as they can. I might want to be at a distance. I might want to take my dog, if they're excited by people, out in public quite a lot and take them to places where they can people watch and give them a calm, or give them a licky mat, or give them a chew. So they start to realise people are not the big deal they see them as. Because then we're sort of desensitizing them to the presence of people, so they're not that exciting. They're a little less interesting. You know, I'm sure the people are lovely, but we want them to be boring. We want them to be uninteresting. The interesting thing about jumping up is it's always one of those things where we want to deal with it in the moment. Definitely. So what I can do, if enough of you like comment or like or something, is I can pop a video up of teaching the off command. And I think the off command is an amazing command to teach. And all it does is it says to my dogs, get your feet off what they're on. People, furniture, other dogs, get your feet off. And this is really simple to teach. And I think it's really important to teach this cue, this off cue, because it gives me something to tell my dogs that they already know. If I stand there with my dog who's jumping up at me or jumping up at other people or whatever it might be, if I'm stood there going, no, down, 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 they don't know what I'm talking about because I've not taught them what any of that means. They might get down because they don't like the tone of my voice, but they don't know what they should be doing instead. They can't read my mind. They don't know what I'm asking for. And if I'm saying down, which is something that we all as humans like do quite a lot, we're like down, down, down. My dog's thinking, I can't lay down at the minute, I'm kind of excited. You know, we probably use the word down to mean lay down. And then we're trying to get them to stop jumping up at someone by saying down. It's a little confusing to them. So instead, what we probably want to do is teach them that the word off means get your feet off something. And we want to teach that in a context away from the exciting situation. So this is really easily done at home with your furniture, and I can pop a link to a video on this live when I finished, if anyone would like. Put some likes or something if you would, maybe, because I think this is a really good cue, and it tells your dog, get your feet off what they're on. So if they're jumping up at someone, you can say off, and they're going to take their feet off and keep their feet on the floor rather than continually, yeah, thank you, I'll pop I'll pop a link. Rather than continually keep jumping up and keep getting confused. Because I think that by saying off and being really clear cut about what I want is a lot clearer than me saying, go, no, off, and giving them loads of verbal feedback that they don't really understand. I don't want to give them this confusing, like, verbal, like, diarrhea almost. I don't want to give them that. I don't want to give my dog verbal diarrhea. So we want to teach the off command, which I'm going to pop a link to. I think it's one of the most helpful commands to teach, one of the most helpful cues to teach, and I think it's so helpful when you have a kangaroo whippet, when you have a kangaroo dog who's down 1 minute and up the next. Those of you without whippets who are watching this, you can't begin to imagine how high they can jump. You can see my jumping kind of in that. What else do I want to be thinking about with my kangaroo whippets or my kangaroo dogs? I want to be thinking about the fact that my kangaroo dog thinks that exciting things happen above them. Exciting things happen above them, and that's why I should jump up, right? You know, when I'm greeting a dog, like a new dog for the first time, and they're pretty friendly, the first thing that I'll do, if you've met me in person or anything, is I'm probably going to lean down towards the dog. I'm not going to face them, but just sort of side on and give them a stroke. The reason I do this is because, in general, the dog tends to want to be close to, like, our faces and sort of get a lot of information about us. They want to be as close to, like, the part of them that's interacting with them as possible. So I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to bend down and be like, hi, Fido. Brian. I usually have the fake dog Brian. And I'm going to give... I should have Brian here, it would be very helpful. So that's why I do that. So what do I want to do? You know, the reason that they're jumping up is exciting things happen above them, and my dog maybe doesn't have self-control around excitement. That's what it's telling me. If I have a dog who jumps up, you probably have similar problems where your dog is easily distracted. Like, maybe not easily distracted, but they're distracted by things. They're really good at something until they notice another dog, or until they notice a person in the distance. These dogs can't always think when they're excited, and we really want to get them thinking when they're excited. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do with dogs who jump up, is get them thinking when they're excited and get them realizing that things can happen above them and it doesn't involve them. So I'm going to try and wake up my puppy. I've got a Whippet puppy. For those of you that don't know, I have Arkle, who is a 6-month-old Whippet puppy. I'm going to try and wake him up. And I'm going to try and show you some exercises I think would be super helpful if you have a kangaroo whippet. If you'd like to see that, give Arkle some likes, give Arkle some love hearts, because I think he needs some persuading. Arkle! He says no, there's not enough going on here. So I'm just going to switch my camera up just a tiny bit so you can see him. There he is! He exists, even better. So... he's slightly sleepy. The first task is quite good for this. So the first thing that I want to do with him is do a little game on teaching him that things above him are not any of his business. So I'm popping him in a sit. Good boy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a treat just above him here, and I'm going to slowly bring it down towards him along lines like Space Invaders. Does anyone know what I'm talking about with Space Invaders? Yes. Someone must know Space Invaders. You know the game I'm talking about? Go down the levels, and that's all I'm doing here. Is I'm sort of taking this treat, and you can see he really wants this treat. He thinks this treat, yeah, is super exciting because it's moving, it's going above him. Yes, as long as he doesn't go for it, he gets the treat at the end. If he goes for it, I'm very simply going to bring the treat. I'm going to bring the treat close to me and start again. And as I get better at this, I can use higher value treats, sit, and I can go a little bit faster. And while his eyes are certainly following, yes, he's not going for it. So that is getting him learning, okay, that when when things are happening above him, it's not his business. We want to train for the situation and not in it. So this is a game that I would be playing a lot with a kangaroo dog, with a kangaroo whippet. The second game that we're going to play, which I don't think I'm adequately prepared for, I need a tug toy, is we're going to get him really excited and get him used to thinking when he's excited. We don't always do this with our dogs. We tend to train them when they're kind of calm and relaxed. Real life, when you have the problems, I'm guessing, isn't when your dog is calm and relaxed. It's when something has got them excited. It's when life has popped up and gone, let's do stuff, Arkle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him excited. I'm going to find a toy that he likes. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, you can see the difference in you already. Let's get this one then. So I have a, ready, get it? I have a nice sheepskin tuggy toy from Tuggy Enough. It's probably a chaser one, which is probably a bit too long for this situation, so I'm going to hold it quite close. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get him really excited with this toy. He's half asleep, so I might struggle a bit. And I'm going to do it by moving the toy across the floor. I'm going to get him, keep away basically. I'm going to keep it away from him as much as I can. And when he's a bit excited, I'm going to bring his toy close, sit. Oh, mate. And I'm not saying that again. I'm giving him some time to think that through. Did you see that delay? He said, I'm half asleep. You've woke me up. Now you want me to calm down. He said, I'm not impressed. So I gave him some time. Now he's done it. I'm going to say yes. And we're going to play it again. So he realises that being calm doesn't end the fun. Because so often, the calmness that we ask from our dogs and we ask from our Whippets, it ends the game. I nearly got it. So I'm going to hold it. He's just got a bit dizzy. Sit. Yes, okay. And I'm going to instantly release him that time. And that's going to speed up his response this time. Uncle, sit. Yes, okay. And this is getting him woohoo thinking when he's all nice and excited. Did you get it? All right then, I'm going to let you get it. We won't do too long. It's been a long day for a puppy. So I am getting him used to the idea that he can go from being really excited, get it, to calming down. And I think that's a really important concept to be teaching these dogs who jump up quite a lot, because the biggest problem they're having is that when he's lost a few teeth today, he's struggling with this, is that when life happens, I think you might be about to lose another. Yes, I think you might be. You're all right, mate. That when life happens, we can be excited, but we can calm down again, and that doesn't mean the end of fun. And I think that's super, super important for these kangaroo dogs, because kangaroo Whippets, kangaroo anything, because we just want them to understand that. Life goes up, life goes down, it's not a big deal, it's not the end of the world. So, you had fun with that pup. Says he doesn't like this one that much today. You sure? You want it? Get it? Yeah. So Apple is only 6 months old, but he is a very sleepy 6 months old. So we're going to put this away. I'm going to continue chatting. But those are 2 games that I would certainly play with a kangaroo Whippet, with a kangaroo dog if you've not got Whippets. Because what we're doing is we've got 2 games. We've got the Space Invaders game, which is getting them to the point where they are seeing exciting things happening above them and they're not getting involved. And we're also doing a game I call Go Crazy and Freeze, where we're getting them really excited and we're bringing that energy down again. Along with that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching them the off cue, so that they know what to do when I've got sheepskin fur all in my mouth now somehow, so that when these things happen on my lives, the off cue, so that when they are jumping up, because life happens sometimes, that they know what to do when we say that word. And we're also going to pay good choices when they are around people and they're not jumping up. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Pop them in the thingy on here, is it called a chat box on here? I don't know what it's called. It's always different depending on like Zoom or Facebook. Anyway, pop comments in the below if you have any. Oh, thank you for the little emoji there. Uncle's very sleepy. He usually gives a far better demo of that. He's usually quite full of energy, but he's teething quite badly at the minute. It's definitely worth also with your jumping up and your kangaroo Whippets and your kangaroo dogs. Yeah, he's got a bit of a sore mouth. Bearing in mind like their emotions on that day, you know, a dog who's more excited or had a stressful day is going to be more likely to make bad choices. So think about the scenarios you're putting them in as well. Poor Uncle says he's teething hard and he's had enough today. So what I'm going to do is I think below this I should be able to, so after this has ended, it will still be on the page, but what I will do is I will pop up a video for teaching off, and I will pop up a video. I don't think I have a video for Space Invaders, but I have another one that's really good. And I can also, if you're in the Facebook group, pop up a sheet on handling jumping up. So that one's just there if you're in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, you can join. You can join the Facebook group. I'll pop a link to that below as well. No questions so far, but I really appreciate the tips. Oh, good. I'm sorry that I was so late doing this as well. I think that's why quite a few of you haven't been able to make it, because I think some of you are going to be watching this in the future. Sometimes life goes that way. Sometimes my life tends to go the wrong way around. Having multiple dogs and trying to run quite a few things is sometimes a bit interesting. So I think I said at 6 and I started a bit later. If you have any questions on your kangaroo whippets, feel free to post them in the group. Like I say, I'll pop just reaching out to my puppy here. You want to be on the camera, mate? I'll pop those in the group. I'm just seeing if anyone has any more questions while I pick up my puppy to show you. Everyone loves to see a puppy. Who doesn't love to see a puppy? I love seeing puppies. He looks really big on camera, I will say. I've had quite a few people meet him recently and go, oh, he's quite small. He's a very sleepy puppy. He's definitely a kangaroo whippet. We are working on it. I think he was on his best behaviour because he was a bit sleepy there. I think an awake Arkle would have done, oh wow, he's sleepy, done slightly differently, not gonna lie. He would have probably chased the toy a bit more too. That's you, isn't it? What was that squeak? It was a good squeak. Right, thanks for watching. I will share this onto the page so you can watch it back later. If you have any questions, give me a shout. I will pop those videos up on those sheets. It might not be immediately, but it will definitely be so tired this evening. Thank you for joining and thank you for your comments and likes. I hope you all have a good weekend. Bye!